my story of this stuff, and I wrote about it in my book, Surfing the Sea of Qi, but I'll tell you briefly. I started Tai Chi in my 20s. I didn't know what Qigong was. I had never heard of it. I barely heard of Tai Chi. That was in the 80s. There was no internet available to the public yet. My only exposure to Tai Chi had been when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, laying on the living room floor, watching the Bill Moyer special on the Empire of China. Because finally, Western journalists were allowed to film in China. Did you remember that? Did you know that was a thing? The rest of the world had no idea even what temples or anything in China looked like until like the 70s. Until the 1970s, China was very, very secretive about itself. It didn't let foreigners in. That's kind of a recent thing that they've done. So I'm watching this special on China as a little girl, and I'm laying on the floor, and I see all these people doing Tai Chi, and as a child, seeing all these Chinese people doing Tai Chi, all wearing white, moving together, my initial reaction was, oh, that is the most beautiful flock of humans I have ever seen moving together. I want to fly with those humans and be in that flock. That's what it made me think of, like birds, fish in the sea moving together. That stuck with me, that image, until I got to my 20s and I had some severe emotional issues. I had severe anger issues at a time when anger management, that term didn't exist. And there was nothing to help you deal with anger. So I tried everything that I could think of. And I'm not shy about telling you the truth, I literally beat myself to pieces in anger. I punched and kicked things when I was angry, never humans. I punched and kicked vehicles, doors, trees when I was angry, to the point that I broke my hands and wrists multiple times, broke my feet and ankles multiple times. It's a wonder I can still walk and do the things I do. I accredit Qigong to healing me on many, many levels. So I tried psychologists to deal with it, which was the thing at the time, and they did a really good job of blaming it all on my parents and how I was raised, which maybe there was some truth in that. It doesn't really matter. The fact is, they didn't help me at all. I tried meditation, and at the time, the only thing about meditation was Om. And being a 20-year-old on fire, I simply could not do that. It did not work for me. But I remembered that on that special, they called it moving meditation, the Tai Chi. I said, well, if I can move and meditate, that will help. So I found a Tai Chi DVD. There was no internet to find that kind of stuff, so I found what I could in Titusville, up in Redneck Mims, where I was raised. How do you find esoteric things like that in the 80s? Well, I found the only thing I could, and I started doing a Tai Chi DVD, and lo and behold, I realized it did help me with my anger. Even though I didn't believe in all that Qi stuff, it helped me with my anger, and it helped me to control my emotions, which was why I started it. So I kept doing it because it actually worked. And I did not realize that people do that when they get old. That's kind of the connotation of Tai Chi. And when I started taking live classes, I was always the youngster. Everyone else was like gray-haired, and here I am in my 20s, and I'm like, please let me in your class. I actually got denied some classes because I was too young. That is age discrimination, my friends. Yeah. So I started to manage my emotions. And now that I'm in my mid-50s and I'm still doing it, and I have some orthopedic issues, I'm really, really grateful that I have Tai Chi to help me manage my pain and my bones and my joints that I didn't think was going to be an issue. But having had lots of rehab and surgeries and working as a clinical therapist for 20 years in a rehab setting, I'm very familiar with physical rehab, so I know lots of techniques, and I have come to find that Tai Chi helps my joints more than anything else I have ever tried, ever, through all the decades. So I'm sticking with it. And I like that I can stick with Qigong and Tai Chi until I'm 90, 100. I may not be able to surf at those ages, but I can still do Tai Chi and Qigong. And that's why it is my self-care go-to. Even though I play hard. After this, I am going to the Surfing Chico weekend with a bunch of female surfers to go surf and party and stuff like that. And because I am Generation X and I play hard, I need to soften on my self-care because I get enough of the hard stuff. But this is self-care that's relaxing, but it's good for the body and it's good for the brain. So I'm sticking with it for the rest of my life, even though I've done Zumba, I've jumped out of planes, I've been in caves that were on the cover of National Geographic that very few people get to go in. I am definitely an extreme adventurer, an extreme athlete. And do I believe in running for health? No. I believe in Qigong and Tai Chi for health, even though I have run some of the world's hardest marathons. This is what I do for my self-care because the evidence in my body and my life, along with the research on it, says it works. And I have found that it works. And I want to do the things that work and that are going to keep me mobile and independent into my 90s and beyond. People who do this stuff, they don't have walkers as they get old. They rarely have age-related cognitive disorders that are sometimes common in different groups of people. So for my body and my mind, I'm going to keep doing this. That's the impact it's made on my life, even though I'm Generation X and was raised on go big or go home. I discovered going big often takes you home on the stretcher, which is not health. Sometimes we exercise to the extreme thinking it's healthy and hurt ourselves. If it's supposed to be for health, it's supposed to make you feel good and feel better, not leave you tired and exhausted. Some of you said you want more energy, but you need to get stronger, you need to get healthier. Western forms of exercise deplete energy. Qigong and Tai Chi exercise give you energy, even though it's exercise. So, any other questions, comments as we wrap it up for today?